Maybe you're striving for success or significance or approval. Ask yourself, what am I really chasing? What am I really racing towards right now? Like, why is this essential? Is this necessary? Is this really important to me to keep chasing these things that maybe I really don't want? And that's where we start going into lightening our load and letting go of the things that don't serve us, because slow living is about eliminating, transforming, letting go of the things that aren't necessary to our vitality and our thriving on earth. Hello my friends, I hope you're having the most magical day. My name is Helena and I run the YouTube channel and vlog called Simple Joys, where I talk all about things slow living, finding peace and fulfillment from within rather than from outside of ourselves, and finding joy and gratitude in the simple pleasures of life. If you are new here to this channel, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you are a current subscriber, thank you so much for supporting my videos. It really means a lot to me, and it's so nice to connect with other people who resonate with this concept of simple joys and finding joy and gratitude in the mundane and ordinary aspects of life. Today we're going to be talking about slow living essentials, slow living basics. 5 mindsets that we need to cultivate in order to adopt a slower pace of life that comes from within rather than from outside of ourselves. So before we get into today's video, please be sure to like this video if you resonate with the message, and feel free to subscribe. Liking and subscribing to my content really helps support the work that I'm doing, and I really appreciate it. Let's get started. The first mindset, the first attitude that we can start with when we begin our journey with slow living is: you cannot be everything and do everything for all the people. Let's be honest, you cannot make everybody happy. This is a great time to ask yourself, where am I getting my love and approval from? Am I getting it from within myself, my own guidance system, or am I seeking validation, thus love and approval, from my peers, my partner, my parents? You are no good to anyone if you are running on empty. If you are seeking from outside of yourself and not filling up your own cup, if your well isn't full, you will seek outside of yourself. You will crave attention, approval, and love from anything and everything outside of you. And when we approach slow living, we have to go back to what we want, because that's where slow living all comes from. It comes from choosing and intentionally creating a life that is slower from everything around us. Because the Western world isn't slow, it's fast, it's busy, chasing productivity, chasing success, chasing approval from outside of ourselves. That is the current world. And choosing to be intentional with creating an opposite life of slowing down and going inwards, that takes courage. This is the fundamental principle of slow living. So ask yourself, where are you getting love and approval? Where are you seeking acceptance and validation? And put your blinders on. And now number 2, for the second mindset to live a slower life, and that is lighten your load. There is a lot of peace and inner joy and fulfillment that comes from doing and taking on less in our lives. Having what you need in order to feel fulfilled, in order to feel vital and joyful within yourself, and letting go of the things that do not serve you. So many people want more money, even if they don't really need it. I see so many people in the United States who are chasing 6-figure salaries when they really don't need it. They really don't actually need 6 figures. They just want it because it's what you should do. It is what you should be doing. You should be chasing for more. You should be working your way up. And newsflash, it's okay to not want to do that. It's okay to have what you need and maybe a little bit extra for, to feel comfortable, to feel secure in your life and household. And you don't need to have all the extra stuff. What can you eliminate in your life? What is not essential to your thriving in life? And let go of the things that do not serve you as much as you think they do. I think A lot of people turn their want tos, I want to do XYZ, into having to do it. I should do it. I have to get this done. I have to be more productive. I have to be more successful. And you don't have to. You can want to if that's what you desire, but you don't have to. There's a lot of peace and inner joy and fulfillment that comes from doing and taking on less in our lives. The things that you really can't live without, that you think you can't live without, ask yourself if it's really necessary. Is it really important to you to have those things? Another practical way that I like to lighten my load is I like to use the 80-20 principle. I like to schedule 80% of my day and then have an extra 20% of my day free and open to allow for spontaneity, play, and also just let the winds take me where I need to be. Maybe you're striving for success or significance or approval. Ask yourself, what am I really chasing? What am I really racing towards right now? Like, why is this essential? Is this necessary? Is this really important to me to keep chasing these things that maybe I really don't want? And that's where we start going into lightening our load and letting go of the things that don't serve us, because slow living is about eliminating, transforming, letting go of the things that aren't necessary to our vitality and our thriving on earth. Throw out the shoulds. So much of our chasing for things that are outside of us, such as significance, success, approval, etc. So often we're doing those things because we've been told by society and people that we should be doing that. For example, we should be more productive. We should be working more. We should be making more money doing what we love. We should monetize our hobby. We keep piling on these shoulds because it's what's expected of us by society and the external world. But when we lighten that and when we let that go, and then we seek inwards and our inner guidance system instead of seeking approval and validation from outside of us, we can feel a lot more fulfillment and peace from within and joy with what we're actually here to do. And that brings us to our third point, which is say no more often. Listen to yourself. Go to yourself for guidance. Go to yourself for answers, for advice. We often look towards people outside of us for advice, guidance, help. The problem is when we seek to society and the people in our life, we're going outside of us and focusing solely on rational thought and their experiences and what their thoughts and knowledge and information from their past experiences are, and that's when we cut off our connection with ourselves. If we had the courage and the faith to trust ourselves, to trust that the information that we have within us is true and that we can trust it and follow it, we wouldn't be seeking anything from outside of ourselves. Saying no more often is a critical mindset and attitude to have if you want to have a slower way of life. Here's another very, very important mindset and attitude to cultivate if you want to have a slower lifestyle, and it is make appreciation a habit, a daily ritual, an intention every day to start noticing the simple joys and the simple things around you that bring you joy. And it's gonna look different for everyone. Everyone has different, unique, simple joys that light them up. Here are 3 practical ways to help you find more appreciation in the simple joys every day. Number 1, you can set a timer. Get your phone out and set a timer about 3 to 5 times a day and let it go off at random intervals throughout the day. And when you hear that alarm, pause and just say a few things that you are grateful for in that present moment. Maybe it's something in the room. Maybe it's something you're wearing. Maybe it's something that you're feeling inside. Maybe it's that, you have your fingers and your toes and you have your senses, Take a minute to pause every time that alarm goes off and create a habit of consistently doing that over, let's say, a period of a month. Just see what it does. I'd be really curious to know if you try this habit. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. Another practical way that you can create this habit of noticing gratitude and being appreciative is have a gratitude journal. I love to have a little notebook right next to my bed where Every morning and every night, I just write down a few things that I'm grateful for when I start my day and when I end my day. Maybe you don't want to do it twice a day, but maybe right before you go to sleep at night, you could write just to jot down a few specific things that you're grateful for. It's really important when we're noticing gratitude to be specific with the things that we're grateful for. So it's not just a general thing like I had a great day or I love my partner. Be very specific. What is it about your partner that you love? What was it about your job or your work today that you really loved? How did it make you feel? Right? Like get down deeper to like the specifics of why you're grateful. What is it that turns you on? The third way that you could start cultivating a habit of gratitude is to have an accountability partner. Ask someone that you know. Maybe it's not a friend, but maybe it's someone that you know you're getting to be friends with. Maybe it's a new person in your life that you're starting to have a friendship or a new connection with. Ask them to be an accountability partner for you, where you check in once a week and check in and see if you've been following your schedule of daily appreciation, noticing the simple joys every day. When you're checking in with your accountability partner every week, you can ask them what are the things that they were grateful for, and they can ask you, and you guys can have a nice little discussion of the simple joys, of the little things that brought you joy that week. Slow living is about cutting out the unnecessary and soaking in the necessary. What is necessary? Well, it's what brings you joy. It's what brings you fulfillment and alignment to you. When we're living a faster life, we don't take the time to pause and to notice the things that we really love and the things that really bring us joy, because we're rushing from thing to thing. We're chasing so many things that we're not slowing down to acknowledge it. And it is when we focus on gratitude and focus on what we are appreciative of today, right now, that we can feel a lot of inner peace and joy. And this really is threaded in with slow living. So I really encourage you to make appreciation a daily habit. And the fifth and final mindset, change the habits or patterns that you'd like to shift in your life. So for example, maybe that's monotasking instead of multitasking. You know, we're often doing many things at once. Focus on one thing at a time. That is a great habit that we can start practicing. That's something that I've been working on in my own life. Another thing that you could do is you could actually slow down and remember that you have all the time that you will ever need right now in this very moment. In this very moment, you are exactly where you need to be. You do not have to worry about getting farther or getting ahead or whatever, or what you have or don't have. Focus on where you are now. The best things in life come little by little. They don't come all at once. They happen by little when we take a step every single day. Beverly Sills says that there are no shortcuts to any place worth going. This is where we start cultivating patience. This is where we start being patient with where we are and allowing ourselves to be here instead of fighting and rushing ourselves to get to the next thing. Let's just sit here. Let's just be here now. There's a Swahili proverb that says, patience attracts happiness. It brings near that which is far. Slowing down and living a slower lifestyle is all about accepting where you are now and having awareness of what is here now. Try observing the moments more frequently. Notice the space around you. Notice not only the furniture in the room, but the space in the room. This is where awareness comes in. This is where we start observing what we have in the present moment, and we start noticing that when we slow down. Slow living is about slowing down enough so that we can have awareness and patience and peace by living with what we have now instead of living with what we want or living with what we should have. These 5 mindsets are really the essentials and the building blocks to slow living. It is the foundation, and once we have the foundation, we can start building upon it. But it first comes from within. It first starts with being aware, being patient, noticing appreciation, and saying no more often by lightening your load and realizing that you cannot be all and do all for everything and everyone in in your life. It starts with you. It starts from within. I hope this video helps, and please be sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me in the future. Have a magical day, my friends, and I will see you next Thursday here on The Simple Joys.